Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Chantal Lamontagne. Hope I did okay saying that with my French. Creator of Sexship, a unique approach to love and relationships centered on sexual intelligence. With over 2 decades of experience as a relationship coach and intimacy expert, Chantal specializes in helping individuals and couples overcome challenges in sex, dating, and relationships through intentional coaching programs, Known for her ability to reunite separated couples and foster deeper connections, she brings a compassionate, insightful perspective on intimacy and relationship growth. Chantal, a very, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much, Zachary. I'm so pleased to be here.
Absolutely. It's going to be a tremendous episode. Before we dive in, I do like to start with your background, though. So before you got into coaching, before you got into what you're doing today, walk us through what were you doing before then, and what was your inspiration to get into this space?
I love this question. I had a home daycare. I had a son in 1988, and I just could not trust anybody with my son. So I decided, okay, I'll buy a house, do a daycare. And it was the most important inner work of my life, because when you work with children, they're pure. So I cared for 70 children for about 10 years, 50 families, and I learned tremendously about human beings, love and caring. Fast forward a few years after that, and I thought, I'm going to just reinvent myself. So I signed up for a coaching certificate. And in the process of that, the love of my life, the man that I adored, that I thought I would do my life with, left me. And I had no idea why. I walked around for like 2 years thinking, what happened? I did everything for him. And in the process of healing my heart and figuring out, I found a career. So as I was not even finishing, I didn't have my certificate, my coaching certificate, people would come to me. And funny enough, men came to me 3 a week and they said to me, I love my wife. I'd done everything for her and she left me. Can you help me to reconcile, to reunite with her? And I said yes, but I wasn't sure I was going to do this, because in my mind, I was going to be a life coach, not a relationship coach. And I did that. And what did that for me is that it was the best, purest information directly from men. Our men love, our men wish to be our heroes, how they want to protect and provide, and we have no idea that you're doing it. So a lot of my work is translating the feminine to the masculine and the masculine to the... Fast forward 2011, for about 10 years, people say, you got to write a book. Got to write a book. I said, no, I can't write a book. I can't write a book. And I don't know if I can say this to your audience, but one day, January 23rd, 2011, I heard a voice say, can I say bad words here?
Yes, go ahead.
Sit the fuck down and write your book today. So I said, oh, I'll make myself a coffee and then I'll start. And they went, no. So I took out a box of 20 years of research, and it took me 2 weeks to write 28 chapters. I had the first draft of my book in 2 weeks. Took me a year to refine it, find a publisher, because I was unknown. And the moment the book was published, it was a bestseller in 2 weeks. And I had a career. Is that a good enough answer for you?
I love it. I absolutely love it. You've been doing this a long time. I think that brings us very well into the present day. Could you walk us through, what does working with Chantal look like? Who are you working with? Everything like that.
I'm very honored that for about 18 of the 20 years, I had only referrals. So I had this little group of people who, when they love you, they send you all kinds of their friends and their families, and because everybody has relationship problems. And for a long, long time, I was just underground. I had no idea that Facebook existed or Instagram, because people came in my office. And what I did is I take couples through a protocol. The protocol, because the speech is, the reason why they say, well, things are not working out, is never the real reason. I find out the real reason month 2 or 3 or 5, even 6. They usually spend between 6 months and a year, and we heal the relationship. We reinvent the connection. So, what does that look like? It looks like a woman called me one day and she said, "What did you do to my husband?" I said, "I'm not sure what you're referring to." I said, "Well, I explained to him the feminine." And she goes, "You know what? I have just met once again the man that I fell in love with 18 years ago. Thank you very much. I will see you on Wednesday." So to this day, I'm close. But once I create a safe place and I hold the possibility of reconciliation, because a lot of couples early on don't think that they can reconcile, and I hold it for them until they believe it. So we go through repair, we go through healing, we go through renegotiating, because I will sell this, and I hope the whole world is listening. One, the truth is there is very little that cannot be repaired in a relationship. Very little. And two, a great relationship is negotiated. It's negotiated. So people who are natural negotiators are probably not my clients, but every single couple that came to me had to learn to negotiate in a place of love. This is not a business agreement, because my clientele is somewhat very wealthy and very busy, big life, big millions, big families, big everything. So efficiency is very important. So they pay me to efficiently get their wife to understand them and get their husband to understand each other. And then we build on that. And we course correct, because we learn love from modeling. We don't learn love from reading a book. I mean, we can be inspired, but to execute love, to create a space in love, to talk from love, to connect with love, it's from modeling. And so many of us did not have a love model. So we have to create it from scratch. So I have a professional, most people are entrepreneurs, they have big business, big families. And men have told me over and over again, it is privately, because they open their heart to me. It is so hard to be a successful man in this world and come home to a unhappy wife. It's so hard for them, but they won't say it. So they'll try to compensate by this, by that, take her on a trip. But what she longs for, the number one gift that the masculine gives to the feminine, is its full presence. You, Zach, are fully present to me right now. So I can be all the feminine that I can be. I can express all that I want because I have this flow, because you're listening to me. Imagine you answering your emails when I'm talking. Imagine you picking up a coffee. That would just create a it. But we do that with our wives and husbands all the time. So we show up in our best version for the people at work, but we come back empty at home. And that creates all kinds of things. So I take men from a place, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I turn frogs into princes. That's what I do. Because men, with all the love that they have, are trying to be their wife's hero, but they don't know how. It's the know-how that's missing. My makeup artist sent me a clip of a very famous author and podcaster, and her clip was, people don't change. So I wrote to my makeup person, and I said, well, she doesn't know about my work, because I witness transformation all the time in my work. So I suspect that her statement is because she had talked to people who don't have the know-how. I've created the know-how. I have the know-how. And I have the know-how because I only do private coaching. So it's always personalized. I always personalize. Every protocol goes through the same place, but every pace, every way that we present it, how do we, heal this thing before we get that thing, it's custom. It has to be custom made.
That makes a lot of sense. Very, very deep,
Yeah,
personal work.
is.
So this isn't some cookie cutter program.
Oh, no.
Right.
Well, in fact, I created this because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find anything. It was like, and I see so much noise in my field now, and I listen to other people doing what I do, and I go, oh my God, oh my God. So I feel very good about the fact that I created something that is unique, but it produces results, because wealthy men don't mind paying $100,000 for coaching if you get results. So my job is to get results for them. So we have happy men who have lots of sex and have a great connection with their woman, because the biggest gift from a man to a woman is his presence. The biggest gift from a woman to a man is her receiving him, her being open to be accessible, not just sexually, but yes, sexually, but not just accessibly. So they come in into a dance where he comes in into her space and she receives him. She receives them from a place of love, because we are created. We the feminine own kind of the gift of putting love into everything. That's why we're wired. That's why we're here. And we're so distraught and so unhappy when somebody we love is not happy. So we want to infuse love, but we don't always know how. So the know-how comes into play at this point.
Very important. Very important. You mentioned you were relying on referrals for a very long time, but before we started recording, you mentioned you're starting to go on a podcast tour. So it sounds like you're trying to get the word out there of obviously how great you and your work are. I'm curious, could you walk us through the strategy? Maybe if you're doing something other than the podcast, how are you getting the word about yourself and your business out there?
Every business coach that I've hired said to me, you got to do one to many. You got to do master classes and you got to do this. And I considered it for a while, and it's not my superpower. So I understand that these people are launching $1 million launch, but that's not my superpower. My superpower is one-on-one and two-on-one. So I had to really make a decision in the last year-ish. I'm doing one masterclass this Saturday, which is so unusual because I was convinced by a wonderful coach that I gave her a podcast to. And I will do it, and I'm happy to do it. But my gift is one-on-one. So I only do podcasts because people need to feel me and hear me. So when I'm in my office, I would open the door and people would say to me later on, week 2, 3, 5, 12, the moment you opened the door, I knew you were the one who was going to help me. So October 2022, I closed my office. I restructured my business because I could not keep seeing 8 clients a day. I could not keep that up, right? As much as I love it, it was a lot for me in my body to handle. So changing this, I didn't know exactly where to go. So as I was hiring different business coaches and they all had the same go to one to many, something in me was like, ugh, yuck. And I had to make a decision that no, that's my gift. It might not mean that I'm going to do $1 million launch, but if it's my gift, then whoever needs to hear me and find me and help them will be able to find me because I'm aligned. The job of a man or woman is to stay aligned with your gifts and competences. So that's where I'm at. So I kind of am on Facebook a little bit, and I'm doing a little bit of live because I'm shy about it, and I'm trying to figure out Instagram. So that's where I am business wise.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
For me, anyway.
No, I love it. I love it. You've been in the space a long time. It sounds like you mentioned you were doing some client work in person. Are you still seeing clients in person?
Everything is digital now because I coach all over the world, and people give me a hard time when I close my office because they love the intimacy of it. But after COVID, I would rent an office, be there, twice in a month. Nobody wanted to come to the office anymore. So my preference is one-on-one in the office, but the practicality of what I need to be doing it doesn't work. So it's all digital. It's through Zoom, WebEx, however, yeah. The most important thing, the most worry that I had was, is the work going to be done? Is it going to be done through the digital world versus face to face? And I had to tweak a few things, but it does. It works.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, you've been a coach for a long time, and you kind of mentioned, when you started, you didn't find anything like what you were doing. And now you mentioned a lot of relationship coaches out there. I'm curious from your perspective, what do you think about the coaching industry as a whole as it is right now?
First of all, I was coaching when these people were in high school. Okay. I have a little bit of a yak feeling because a lot of it is, let me backtrack for a second.
Yeah.
I have a secret card in my back pocket. Would you like to know what it is?
Absolutely.
So 2009, I received an email from a colleague of mine, and he says, have you heard of the psychologist who healed a whole hospital full of criminally insane with only one prayer? I said, no. But 3 weeks later, I was in plane to Hawaii, and I was learning this particular spiritual practice called Ho'oponopono. And it dictates that anybody that comes to your life, so my clients are coming to my life, I have in my lineage, in my subconscious, a reason why they have the problem. So if I do my spiritual practice, I free myself and my clients. Are you with me so far, or is this too?
No, you're good. Keep going.
So when you meet a client, you meet a client with what I will call the whole lineage. Everybody from their lineage, father, grandfather, blah, blah, blah. And to deal with that is a huge responsibility, because when people come to you vulnerable, they take their nervous system and they give it to you and they say, please take care of it. So because I understand it, because I fell in love with this spiritual practice, which means that I spend hours praying and cleaning before every client and after every client, and that's my choice, because I love work well done. There's no way that the people who have the structure right now can do this level of work, because I only do the work when I know that I can bring durable and permanent results. Mm. And if you don't tend to the subconscious part, the reason why I have so much success is I tend to the conscious part of my client and the unconscious. I bring the unconscious conscious. Why is my wife doing this? Okay, well, let's just kind of unpack it, because I see my clients individually and together. And the only reason is I only have the truth when they're alone with me. Because by default, you will want to protect your partner. By default, you will edit yourself. Well, no, he wasn't that mean. But then when I see her alone, I go, he was so mean. He really hurt me. So this whole courage that you need to develop, I teach my client how to do it graciously. Men can hear anything, but if you bring the criticism, and if you bring bitching, and if you bring complaining, he won't be able to hear you. But if I can teach you, would you like to tell all of your hurt in a way that he's going to hear you and he's going to course correct? Would you like that? Who doesn't say, who's going to say no to this? Right? So I realize that what's lacking is the know-how. How do I express, as a man or woman, how do I express myself to my partner without hurting them for something that it needs a course correction? And if you keep doing this, you create a momentum in your life. You get a momentum, you're getting confident. You can show up a year later and say, I don't need Chantal. I'm just figure out a way. And I have my clients, for example, have a 10 minutes in the morning of managing life. Who's going to pick up the kids? Who's going to start the spaghetti sauce? Who's going to take out the garbage? And I have a 10-minute of, I love you so much, and this is why I love you. So it's maintenance. It's maintenance. I can only start this once they're over the hump of he did this and she did that, right? So there's this whole dance that I take people to, and I cannot go faster. This is so important to say. I cannot go faster than their nervous system can go. So a lot of the people who are selling all of those cookie cutters programs with groups have no idea really who are dealing with. They're, to me, they're not catering to what I call their inner radical responsibility for when their clients come in. In fact, I've said this to colleagues and they think I'm nuts. Like, why would you pray 2 hours for a client? Because it's the right thing to do. That's how it gets done. And why does it work? It works. I get love letters all the time. Can I tell you what one of the best love letters I got? Okay.
Please.
So one of my big medal is the first couple that was divorced that came to me. And she came to me, 5'1", 90 pounds, and she was whispering like this. She said to me, you're coaching my friends and you're doing extraordinary work. I've been divorced from my husband for several years, but I still love him. Can you help us? And my mouth said, well, I will, yeah, let's see, right? So she's very feminine. Pay attention to this. So she is now married to a very, well, he was still there. He's a very masculine alpha. He's got a big company and he's very busy, very busy. So I start with her and I teach her this is why he left. So what happened was he got busted with his mistress and they divorced. And it was a nasty divorce, millions of dollars of divorce. And they tried to, so the mistress moved into the house and now she's the life partner, but this never really works. So the dynamic of a mistress and the dynamic of a living partner, two completely different energies and way of being. And years later, she realized, I still love my husband, so how do I do this? So fast forward a few months, and we write letters. I craft with my clients a letter of invitation. So we invited him. And he goes, well, I don't know if I need this, and I don't know if she loves me. I know. So I worked very, very hard, but I got them a year. I see them individually and I see them together. And here's what happened in one of the sessions. In one of the sessions, we write a healing letter. So she's requesting a healing for something that he has done, and he's offering, with a very particular script, a healing to her. And at the end of it, he turned to me and he says, oh, I get it. I was a dick. I couldn't even use that language. But in that moment, I knew that he got what he didn't. He didn't understand how much he hurt her. And then from that moment on, it will never hurt her that way. Fast forward, so they moved in together, they're happy, Fast forward 2 or 3 years, and I get this beautiful letter, and she says, I've been thinking about you, and I want to thank you for helping me. We have found our house. They were looking for a house on the ocean. And I've never seen my husband so happy. And he bought a sailboat, and he called it Second Chance. That's my life. That's my life.
I love that.
So we reconciled the couple, and then they sent me the adult children because the adult son was working with the father, and there was all kinds of things. So every Christmas, I get a beautiful card that says, thank you so much for helping our family. So the impact of my work has helped 4 people, not just 2.
Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Chantal, pleasure having you on the show. Where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online or learn more about your services?
I'm on Instagram as there's the links, right? You've got all the links.
We'll have the links, absolutely.
I'm on Facebook. The best way is email. So you've got the email. And I always welcome, because I'm an intimacy coach, a quick call. Because I hear in the voice much more than I see in the written world. So they're certainly very welcome to come in. I only take a small group of people because they stay with me between 6 months and a year. So I take about 5 or 6 couples at a time. So if they feel that there's even an ounce of can we reconcile, I'm the woman they want to talk to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chantal, thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much. I loved it.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of The Founder's Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Chantal on all of her social media. Her email, social media will all be linked in the show notes below. If you need her, please feel free to reach out. She's very, very clearly the best at what she does. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.